If you've ever encountered someone who's hunted or harvested wild game, you will often come across a common theme. They will speak about how they have an undying love and respect and admiration for nature, and that may seem at odds with the fact that they are hunters. They kill and harvest wild game. How do you conserve something that you kill and harvest? Well, hunting has been with humans for thousands of years. Since the beginning of history, humans have hunted either for subsistence, population control, or predator control, or even sport hunting. This is probably the reason why humans have this undying love for nature. They realize that they're around it constantly, it's been with them for thousands of years. And then hunters also are immersed in it constantly. Hunters are always in nature looking for game. This is what pushes them to be conservationists. To hunt and take from the system also makes you want to conserve it. Unfortunately, due to circumstances caused by humans, there have been some issues with how animals are able to live basically naturally. These animals, due to encroachment, population shrinkage, or even habitat loss, these animals now require human assistance to be able to live naturally. This is where the hunting and conservation come together. So, hunters who want to be active conservationists, what they do is they are engaged in a couple of different practices. Hunting in the 21st century allows people to, when they hunt, they're doing it ethically, they're doing it sustainably, and they're doing it in a way that allows things to be taken from the natural world without overexpending the resources. What this comes down to is hunters are able to engage in conservation through population control. This is accomplished through game laws, daily bag limits, and seasonal bag limits. What it does is it works to ensure that a population is not being taken too much from or not enough from, causing a population boom. Another reason that hunters engage in conservation is through income and revenue generation, and as well as gathering information on the field about these populations. These hunters, when they buy things, whether it be services or equipment or tags, it costs money, which goes towards conservation. Another reason that hunters are also engaged in conservation would be due to educational, like passing education to and from people. These hunters will communicate with non hunters, fellow hunters, and they will try and show practices that lead to sustainable outcomes and ethical hunting. Now, hunting has gotten a bad rap. In the early 1900s, end of the 1800s, there was a lot of trophy hunting going along that this trophy hunting decimated populations. What this means is that it gave hunting a negative rap. They saw the decline of populations, thought people can no longer hunt, it just kills animals. Well, here in the 21st century, specifically here in California, we have a good system that shows how hunting can be sustainable and ethical in North America. So this is accomplished mainly due to game laws and daily bag limits and seasonal limits. So what this means is there were laws enforced that basically say when, how, where, and how many animals can be harvested from a certain population in a given time. This is the purpose of these laws, and the purpose is to show people that you can only take so much, and if the system hasn't, in the off season, hasn't given enough to offset what you want to take, then you will not be allowed to take. That is how the equilibrium or the balance is maintained in this North American system of sustainable hunting. In California as well, we also have, on top of that, we have fees. And these fees come in the form of a hunting license, hunter education. It comes from basically the tags and the passes required to harvest game, as well as the equipment you use. So all of this leads to income generation. It allows money to be made from hunting, which directly goes to the Natural Forest System, or Natural Forest Service, excuse me. The National Forest Service will use the money made from hunting to go towards conservation, upkeep, maintenance, and it also pays for their wages and their salaries. This money that comes directly from hunting is now being used to facilitate conservation. The same can be said for those hunters who also are out in the field gathering information. These hunters will go in the field with the use of their tags. They will harvest an animal, and then at the end of the season, they will fill out a harvest report. The harvest report and the tags are mainly just used by researchers and scientists to gauge where these populations are at. So on top of bringing in money, these hunters are also bringing in information which is used by scientists and researchers to determine the status of these populations. Because to get the same information with just scientists and or researchers costs money. If not, you need volunteers. And then with that, hunters are doing it for free. So you're getting the same work done for free, but also helping with population control. A final reason why hunting aids conservation would be education. Hunters work to educate not only fellow hunters, but non-hunters. And they educate fellow hunters on sustainable ethical practices. When you catch someone poaching or doing something wrong, you call them out or you report it or you do something. But what we do is, or fellow hunters, what they do is they educate others before they've hunted, while they hunt, and after, to make sure that not only do non-hunters see them as now doing something ethical as opposed to just killing, but it allows fellow hunters to engage in practices or learn when they're doing something wrong. This kind of cycling of information works to not only advance hunting, but also conservation, because these hunters are talking to non-hunters, which consist of nature enthusiasts, hikers, campers. All of this information being cycled is just beneficial to everyone that goes out in nature. These good ideas of sustainability and ethical use of the forest is being supported. So to conclude, it's hard in the 21st century to separate basically ethical hunting, or basically hunting and conservation, because we are running out of resources and science has proven that. So if we are to continue to uphold the cycle, we have to make sure that these populations can keep on going. And that is accomplished through the use of hunting as a conservational tool, and conservation using hunting as a tool to get money. So I appreciate you listening to my presentation, and thank you very much.